Morning. Happy Wednesday to everyone. Mornings with Michael is back in action after a little hiatus. We had a little family trip. So, Mornings with Michael is brought to you for informational, educational, and sometimes entertainment purposes only. Let's start with the news. UK consumer price CPA rose 8.7% in annual terms in April, down from 10.1% in March, but above the forecast of 8.2%. New Zealand's central bank raises cash rate 25 basis points to 5.5%. Official cash rate set to remain restrictive. Level of rates of constraining spending and inflationary pressure. OCR will remain at restrictive level for foreseeable future to ensure inflation returns to 1 to 3% annual target. The Bank of Japan said Wednesday it offered to buy outright on May 25th up to 200 billion yen in Japanese government bonds maturing in 10 to 25 years. Onto our consumer sector, Toll Brothers, TOL, quarter two EPS rose 54% year over year to 2.85 versus 1.91. Urban Outfitters, URBN, first quarter EPS 56 cents versus estimate 35 cents. VF Corporation's VFC quarter four revenues fell 4.4% year over year to 2.7 billion versus 2.73 billion. Quarter four EPS 17 cents versus 14 cents. Estimate. Nautilus NLS quarter four EPS loss 66 cents versus estimate 57-cent loss. Express EXPRE quarter one EPS loss 99 cents versus estimate of 78 cents. Shoe Carnival SCVL quarter one EPS 60 cents versus estimate 69. XPeng XPEV quarter one adjusted EPS loss Rinbini 2.57 versus $1.80 from a year ago. Vita Coco, COCO, $5 million share, secondary priced at $23. Onto energy, DICOM, DY, quarter one EPS $1.73 versus 70. HASI, HASI, files to sell 300 million in common stock. Landstar LSTR lowered quarter two EPS view to $1.75 to $1.85 from prior view of $1.90 to $2. Cuts revenue forecast from a 1.33 billion to 1.38 billion versus prior 1.4 billion to 1.45, citing market condition trends in loads number, watt shares of other logistics and trucker names, WRN, JBHT, ODFL, and XPO. Financials, Intuit, INTU, third quarter adjusted EPS, $8.92 versus $8.48. Renaissance RE, RNR, 6.3 million share spot secondary priced at $192. Honda Healthcare, Agilent Technologies, A, quarter two EPS $1.27 versus estimate $1.26. PTC Therapeutics, PTCT, shares fell 20% after it announced the discontinuation of preclinical and early research programs in gene therapy. Inovio, INO, announced the European Commission, or EC, has granted orphan drug designation for INO 3107, the company's product candidate for treatment of recurrent respiratory papillomatosis. The White House announced a proposal to advance prescription drug transparency in Medicaid. CMS said HHS proposal would shed light on the cost of prescription drugs and save states and federal government in costs in Medicaid. Abbott Labs, ABT, the FTC is investigating whether baby formula makers colluded on bids for lucrative state contracts. Phathom Pharmaceuticals, FHAT, 111.125 million. Share spot secondary price at 11.75. 89 Bio, ETNB files automatic mixed securities shelf. Technology, Media, and Telecom. Palo Alto Networks, PANW, shares are rising today. Third quarter adjusted EPS $1.10 on revenues of 1.72 billion. Guides full year revenues at 6.88 to 6.91 billion. Adjusted EPS $4.25 to $4.29, up from $3.97 to $4.03. New Relic, NEWR, fourth quarter revenues 242.49 million versus estimate of 241.1. UMA, OOMA, first quarter adjusted EPS 16 cents versus estimate of 14 cents. Phototronics, PLAB, PLAB, quarter two EPS 54 cents versus 45 cents. Comcast, CMCA, said to launch a cable-like live TV streaming service for $20 a month. And finally, Shopify, SHOP, downgraded to underperform from neutral at Exane BNP Paribas. And that's our news for today. And now let's share our screen. Here we got Urban Outfitters jumping 17.55% today, closed in the upper 50 to 60% of its range, so that's positive. We got a blue dot here. It's reached its high against the S&P 500. Let's look at our indexes. Look at the dollar. Dollar is rising. See what effect this has on gold. It has bounced from its 10, 20, and 50-day moving averages, butting its head up against 200. Gold is retreating on this news. Silver as well. Looked at our cryptocurrencies. They're losing favor as well. Ethereum down 3.26%. Look at our 10-year yield. Come up significantly off of the bottom here. It's above all of its moving averages. This probably will put a lot of pressure on our high valuation stocks. This is the 20-year yield, 1 to 3 year bond, pulling back, so the yields are rising on this as well. The VIX got above 20 here on all the machinations with the debt ceiling. S&P 500 is pulling back 0.71%. The NASDAQ pulling back as well, but it's holding strong. It's wants to stay around the 10-day moving average, so we'll have to continue to watch that. Dow Jones pulling back to its 200-day. It's one of the weakest indexes and remains so. And let's take a look where all the regional banks are. Gap down in this Russell, down 1.06%, pulling back to its 10, 20, and 50-day moving averages. Take a look at what our ETFs are doing. Energy is holding strong. Industrials are pulling back hard to its 200-day moving average. Utilities continue to retreat. Communications, which has been strong, is pulled back to its 10-day moving average. See if it can hold there. Real estate just has fallen down with yields rising. I imagine real estate is having a hard time here. Building materials continues its retreat. Our home builders are pulling back as well with rates coming up. Financials really look ugly. Consumer sector is remaining pretty strong. And we got a little retreat in technology. Transportation continues to sink. Software remain pretty strong. It's pulling back similar to technology to its 10-day moving average. Our travel is pulling back, all of our airlines. And let's look at semiconductors. Pulling back to the 10-day moving average. Kind of look like technology and software, still the strongest area in the market. This could be a cup with handle area. It did gap down. We'll have to see if it can fill that gap and continue moving up. So what's moving today, other than Urban Outfitters? Avid Technology, which is sold off really hard. Got a big bid today, up nearly 23%. Abercrombie and Fitch, up 31% on 244% increase in earnings. That's a 7,600% earnings surprise. Kohl's, looks like a lot of retail is moving up today. Kohl's is up 7.52%, but it closed on the bottom of its range. That's slightly bearish. Palo Alto Networks, which was in the earnings news, their earnings came in at positive 83%, up 17.65 earnings surprise. Reata Pharmaceuticals up 20%. And big pullback, but huge volume buying today. Thurman Group, their earnings are tomorrow, up 3%. So I guess that's positive for their earnings. P-Lab, which Phototronics, which was in the earnings news today, up 6.68%, but closed in the bottom 25% of its range. This is slightly bearish, so we'll have to see what it can do tomorrow. It did gap up. We'll have to see if it can hold that gap or if it's going to fill the gap. And then finally, we got Silicon Motion, Taiwan-based company, designer of microcontrollers, up 7.15%. We'll look at one more retail up, American Eagle Outfitters. It's been under its 200-day moving average, and as we say, nothing good happens below there, but it is up 4.5% today. Decliners. Renaissance Holdings, 2.24%. Ecovist, Gapping down 6%. Highest volume it's had in a long time. PTC Therapeutics gapping down. It did close up in the upper 75% of its range, but it's still down nearly 20%. Another one in the news today, Phathom Pharmaceuticals sold off. I believe that they had a share offering, down 10.4%. US Physical Therapy gapping down. This is a pretty bad sell-off, closing in the bottom of its range, gap down 11.77%. America's Car-Mart gap down, but recovered strongly, still down 7.4%. And finally, Vita Coco, I believe they had a share offering, down 3.48%, not too bad considering what a lot of these stocks have done on these share offerings. So there we go. That's our report for today. Hope everybody has a great day. Go out there and continue going after your goals. Keep going after your activities and keep supporting each other. This has been Mornings with Michael. If you have any personal finance question, feel free to DM us. We hope you have a fantastic Wednesday, and we'll catch you again on the rebound. Mornings with Michael has been brought to you for informational and educational purposes only.